What's up, boys? MKTV here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Today we do have another FPL draft for you. It is going to be my new FPL draft coming into the game week 1 deadline for the 23-24 season. If you do enjoy, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. Without further ado, let's get started things. So to kick things off today, we do, boys, starting off, the squad does cost 99 million. So we do have 1 million in the bank to play around with throughout the season, or before the deadline, I suppose. So yeah, there's 1 million in the bank. We can upgrade it in places if we do wish to. The current rank, obviously, not applicable at this moment in time as the season hasn't started. But I think it's literally, when you're watching this video, I'm pretty sure it's 6 days to the deadline. So make sure you get your teams locked in. And yeah, let's jump straight into my team and let's see how it's looking. So, boys, to kickstart my team, I'm going to stick with Andre Onana. If you have seen my last draft video, yeah, Onana's been in most of my drafts. I'm pretty sure he's going to be nailed on for me. Nailed on for Manchester United with minutes as well. Very, very good passer of the ball, so hopefully bonus points will be very, very good for him. And I just think he's a really good option for Manchester United to get into the defence. And at 5 million, he's cheaper than Shaw, so that's why I've gone with Onana in net. And yeah, I just don't really see much point in going for someone at 4.5 when I want to get a member of the Manchester United defence in my team anyways. May as well go ahead and be the goal. The second player I've gone with is going to be Purvis Stupinan of Brighton. So again, I've gone with him as well. He's stuck from my team from last year. Not going to earn last draft. I'm not going to spend too much time on him. 5 million, brilliant price for a very attacking left back in the Brighton system. Really, really good player in real life as well. Gets up and down the left hand side a lot. Attacking returns does come alongside with him. And the very, very good defense of Brighton. I think he's a must-have. He's a most-owned defender. That's why I've gone with in for my first defender. Yeah. The next defender I've gone with is a little bit of a differential one. I would say I think it's around 7.5% owned at the moment. It is going to be Ben Mee. I have had Rico Henry in past drafts. I just like a little bit more the look of Ben Mee. I think 5 million, the 0.5 extra could be, maybe not worth it potentially. But I just think his attacking threat from, set pieces, corners, he always does come up with a goal the odd time. And I like the look of Ben Mee. I think he could be a really, really good option for the Brentford defence. Maybe I've got this one wrong. Maybe I will resort back to Rico Henry or even Ethan Pinnock or something. But I just like the look of Mee. He's going to be nailed on. He is the captain for the team as well, as far as I know. And I just really, really like the security of minutes that comes alongside him. And yeah, I've just gone with Ben Mee, just decided to go with him, see what he's like. Their fixtures aren't the worst, and I like him as a player. So we'll see how that goes. And he's a little bit more differential than, say, if I was to go for a Luke Shaw or something. So yeah, the next player we're going to be going with is going to be Gabriel of Arsenal. Now, I wanted an Arsenal defender, had to go with Gabriel for me. If I went with Ramsdale in goals, it would have been Luke Shaw, but I just like this a little bit more. Gabriel, we've gone with attacking threat from set pieces, very, very good. And he's priced at 5 million as well. So the first 4 players in my squad are going to be priced at 5 million, which looks a little bit expensive for the defense maybe, but I just think you have to have a good defense as well as a good midfield and a good forward line. So yeah, I've gone with Gabriel as the next, keeping a pretty template there. Bar say maybe Ben Mee in that, but I just like the look of it as well. You have to keep a certain element of your squad template. Obviously you have to pick the best players, and most people are going to pick the best players for fantasy football. So that's what I've gone with at the defense. And yeah, let's move on to the midfield and see who we've got in there. So the first midfielder I've gone with is going to be Eberechi Eze of Crystal Palace. I've had him in a lot of my drafts as well. He does not seem like he's going to be coming out before the deadline next Friday, and I just like him as an option. Really, really nice. 6.5 million coming in at Crystal Palace's main man on penalties, nailed on minutes. It's just a no-brainer for me. I really like the player as well. The way he plays really is exciting to watch. I've gone with him in my midfield. He doesn't seem like he's going to be coming out of my draft at all. And yeah, at 6.5 million, I've gone with him over maybe the likes of Mitoma and Mbeumo. Well, let's take a look at options. So option number 2 again is going to be a bit more of an exciting one. It is going to be Phil Foden of Manchester City. I wanted at least double Man City. I'm not really sure with the defense, who's going to be playing and stuff. So I will maybe look at that and reassess at a later date, maybe game week 3 or 4 or something, try and get into the Man City defense. I just don't really see, someone being nailed on. Maybe Ruben Diaz could be a good option. But for now, I've stick with Ben Mee. But again, that could change as well. But yeah, moving on to Foden again. Really, really high upside with this player. His minutes may not be nailed on, but when he does play, even coming off the bench, he's a very, very high chance of getting some attacking returns. And a really, really good player at 7.5 million, which is a bit surprising how cheap he is. But yeah, I really, really like him. And he's a player that has been in most of my drafts as well. Phil Foden is the second option. The next option is going to be Marcus Rashford of Manchester United. Now, hear me out on this one. 9 million is a hefty price tag, but I do want him in my team. He scored as well today in pre-season for Manchester United. Looked sharp in that game, actually. Beforehand in pre-season, wasn't really hitting the standards, maybe some of us United fans were thinking he would reach. Had a brilliant season the season last there. Man United's top goal scorer, coming in, I think it was 6.5 mil last year, which was ridiculous. But 9 million this year, a very, very warranted price tag. I would get him in your team as well if you are looking to build one. He covers the 9 million price point as well. If you wanted to drop him down to, say, an 8.5 or an 8 million, there is definitely room to go ahead and do so. And he's a really good player. Get him in the squad. He's going to score goals. He is my third option in midfield. And someone I've had in most of my drafts. Him and Bruno, I'm kind of still swaying between, but I do think Rashford is going to probably be my option. The next option we're going to be going with is going to be Bukayo Saka. Again, a very template midfield, maybe apart from Eze and Foden. They are in some teams, but especially Rashford and Saka, 1 and 2 most owned midfielders in the game, and rightly so. Saka's on penalties for Arsenal. He is Arsenal's probably most nailed on attacker, I would say. Maybe bar Odegaard being the captain. But yeah, either of them options are very, very good. I had Odegaard in there for a little bit as well when I was messing around with this team. He's just, I keep going back to Saka, man. I do. He's a very good player. He's on penalties. I just think if there's a chance of an Arsenal goal coming in off the right hand side onto his left foot, he is a special player. He's an absolutely brilliant player, and I expect him to hit different heights this season. Obviously, Arsenal more than likely going to be pushing for a title again. In the Champions League, there may be a rotation towards the middle, towards the end of the season. Depends how they go in that. But for now, I'd say he's going to be fully nailed on, and he's my fourth option in midfield. And finally, my last midfield option is a little bit of a differential one. Just over 5% owned at time of recording this. It is Jarrod Bowen of West Ham. Now, I've added him in here just because I wasn't really liking the look of Mitoma. Mitoma, very good player and all that. But I just think Bowen is going a little bit under the radar here. I've seen him in some very few people's teams, but I think he could be a really good option. Had a really good preseason there as well with West Ham, playing as kind of a second striker to Danny Ings or to Antonio, whatever the case might be. Scamacca sold now as well. He is always nailed on, plays every single game for West Ham. And if he's going to be playing kind of that right striker role, if they do go ahead and play that again, on penalties for West Ham, Bournemouth in the first game has some difficult fixtures in there, I know, but there is some nice fixtures yet again as well. Going to be rotating him, the likes of Eze, and one of my strikers, or one of my forwards, kind of just depending on fixtures. So I'm kind of planning for that. But Jarrod Bowen in there, I really like the look of this player, and a differential as well. Not seeing him in many people's teams. Let me know, is he in your team? But I've gone with Jarrod Bowen there as my final midfield option. Let's move on to the forwards. Next here, I've gone with Ollie Watkins, who he was in my last draft. It just has changed that Gabriel Jesus has got an injury. I've popped him in there as my second forward option. That is going to be starting the game week 1 before the game week 1 deadline. So yeah, he was on the bench to begin with, away to Newcastle. Isn't the easiest fixture, but I have him in there for now. We'll see what happens. That could change. But yeah, Gabriel Jesus injured, Nkunku injured. In my opinion, he is probably the third best option as a forward if everyone was fit. And obviously, if Harry Kane stays, we may have another dilemma there. We want to try and get him in. But for the time being, Ollie Watkins is my first forward option. Obviously, I think you can guess who's going to be alongside him. And then I have downgraded the other forward option from Jesus to someone a little bit cheaper, but he's going to be sitting on the bench and going to be rotating with the likes of Bowen, Eze, maybe Watkins as well. So Watkins is my first option in midfield or in forward line. Very nailed on minutes, should be on penalties for Aston Villa, and a really good asset in FPL. And finally, to wrap up this starting 11, it is going to be the captain as well, Erling Haaland. 14 million price tag. Again, I keep laughing at that anytime I see it. He is absolutely brilliant. A brilliant option in FPL. The less I say about him, the better. Get him in your team. Most owned player in the game, and he's going to break records yet again this season. Brilliant option, Erling Haaland. Nailed on minutes for Manchester City. A goal scorer. You can't ask for much more. Moving on to the bench. So the bench, I have stuck with a very, very similar bench. This team hasn't really changed much from my previous draft video. Bar Ben Mee, Jarrod Bowen, and obviously Vissa on the bench now as well. They're the three main players that have changed, and I have 1 million in the bank because of that. Downgraded Jesus to Vissa, and I downgraded, where else did I go? I don't know. The money's gone. Bowen, I've gone up, I think, and me, I've gone up. So then that's where the 1 million. There we go. But yeah, the bench is going to be Join Vissa of Brentford, Matty Cash as well of Aston Villa, and Baldock there of Sheffield United. Also, Areola's on there. Just really didn't think there was much point in putting him there. 4 million goalkeeper is also on the bench as well. But Vissa's fixtures look really decent for Brentford. Going to be nailed on minutes with Ivan Toney out of the way, obviously due to his suspension. And yeah, it was between him and Mbeumo. Mbeumo probably will be on penalties, but Vissa always pops up with a goal the odd time. A good option in there for 6 million. And I just think he's, he can rotate well with the players I have in there. Matty Cash coming on in pre-season. Ashley Young has left the club, so it looks like he's going to be nailed on for Aston Villa at 4.5 million, an attacking fullback. I want that in my team. And Baldock just there for a 4 million option in my team as well. So that's how the team's looking like. We've 1 million in the bank as well, which I'm very, very happy with. Let me know what you think of the team as well, boys. That is my draft. I just kind of looking at options. I was looking at Bowen, looking at Ben Mee. I want to keep it more or less template, but I do want some of them players that can, potentially change things and up my game week ranks every single week. Like the likes of Jared Bowen could be a differential, as opposed to the likes of Mitoma. This team is not finalized. I will do a video as well, probably one more draft one and then a finalized one throughout the week. But that is how it's looking currently. Let me know what you think down below. A massive thank you for watching the videos. If you haven't already, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Closing in on 5k now as well. Would be appreciated if you could do so. And I'll catch you boys next time with the next one. Peace.